Welcome to day 5 of our journey exploring the Gospel according to Mark. We're actually more than halfway through. Jesus' ministry, which primarily takes place in Galilee, now takes a very deliberate turn toward Jerusalem and the mission God sent him to accomplish. In yesterday's chapters, we began to see more clearly the reason why Jesus came. Although he healed every kind of physical disease, his primary purpose was to heal sinful hearts. And at the end of chapter 8, Jesus began to teach that he must suffer many things, be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and ultimately be killed, and yet after 3 days rise again. But this was something his disciples just didn't seem to understand. In fact, Peter even rebuked Jesus for suggesting it. Well, in today's reading from Mark chapters 9 and 10, Jesus foretells his death and resurrection 2 more times. And as a result, we see a battle develop with unbelief. Not only in the hearts of the Pharisees, a father desperately concerned for his boy's well-being, and even a wealthy young man faced with deciding between earthly riches or riches in heaven, but a battle of unbelief in the hearts of the disciples, whose minds were not set on the things of God, but on the things of man. You know, unbelief is a common response to Jesus. Many simply can't accept the fact that Jesus is God's beloved Son and that we should listen to him. And yet, I think tragically, many more simply can't accept the fact that Jesus came to die for sinners, and we are all sinners in need of saving. One would think that the disciples would have willingly received this, but they seem to have really a more difficult time than anyone else. Jesus predicted his death and resurrection, and what did Peter do? He rebuked him for it. He taught them that he would be killed and after 3 days rise, and they secretly argued with one another about who the greatest disciple was. He told the 12 that he would be delivered over to the Gentiles, mocked, spat upon, flogged, and killed, and they continued to secretly jockey for power and position in the kingdom. You know, this Easter, we may rightly acknowledge that Jesus is the only one who can meet the needs of our world right now. But don't miss the fact that Jesus came to meet your greatest need, my greatest need. He summarizes it in chapter 10, verse 45, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and give his life as a ransom for many." Jesus came to save us from every evil thing that would come out of our heart. He came to deliver us from every evil thought and every lustful or sinful desire and deed. And in order to deliver us, he had to die the death that we deserve. That's Mark's message. That's Jesus' mission. Let's not miss it. Keep listening, keep reading, and let's keep continuing to discover who Jesus is together.